What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been gone for so long. As some of you know, I had a baby. Here's some of his baby photos when he was still in the stomach, but I'll put a picture of him here. And thanks for the support. Keep liking and subscribing. Again, sorry I haven't posted up a video, but it's kind of been crazy with a new baby, but we're back at it. So you might have seen this project that I was working on in the background when I did the Raptor and the Arctic Cat and maybe the jet ski. I'm not sure, but here, check it out. All right, so this is a 2006 KTM 250. Now, this has been sitting in the background of my shop for quite a while because KTM is finicky. It's crazy. You can't just bore out your cylinder for these things. So I guess the story goes KTM is a huge competitive brand. So when they built their bikes, they made them so you can't bore up in size the next size up, because if somebody was competing with one of these bikes, they could just bore up and not tell. So the only bore up size is like, it's crazy. It's ridiculously way bigger. So like that, if somebody does bore it out at the track, it'd be easy to tell, and then that person could get disqualified. So what I had to do, I had to take the cylinder with the jug out, took out all the exhaust valve stuff off. I got it set up here. And I sent this cylinder out to LA Sleeves. So this cylinder originally comes plated, not with a sleeve. So come to find out, the one that this was already sleeved when the bike got to me, so I had to find somebody to re-sleeve it again. So I sent it out to LA Sleeves, sorry, and they put a custom sleeve in here for me. They also sent me a piston. This is the recommended piston from KTM. So I think I bored it out to, I boarded it to factory size. So this should be 66.35 millimeters. So it should work perfect. I already checked the piston to make sure it matches the old one. So right now we're just building up the head again, and then we're gonna put the piston on the bike. This is a 2-stroke, so for those that are logging on, sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but this is a 2-stroke, so it's not chain driven. It doesn't have cams, it doesn't have any of that. It's just a crank, rod, piston, and compression. So, and carburetor, I guess. So today we're gonna put as much as I can of this bike together, because I got a few more things I wanna do today, but here we go. Let's get this jug set up. All right, so I just kind of propped this up because I was testing fit earlier, but this all comes out there. And you got these. So these right here, this comes out, but I took the plate off of it already. You'll see me put it back on. So this makes like an opening, so more exhaust can flow through and out. So essentially that goes in there. There's one on each side, and how I do it is, this thing has small gears, and then it has like these 2 big ones, and like one that's like pretty decent size in the middle towards the back. I don't know if you can see that. So you got these front ones, that's what this valve actually grips to with these. And then you got these back ones here. So that one, and then the one in the middle. What I like to do, I like to point it directly back on both sides. So like that, when you put in your valve, it'll be perfectly dead in the middle. So when it goes up or down, it'll always have teeth to bite. Now you can kind of fine tune these a little bit. So you can kind of fine tune how you want your ports to open and how the bike breathes, and etc. But for now, we're just gonna do it so there's teeth on both sides to grip, and that valve has plenty of space to open and close. So we're gonna put these back on. Should have probably cleaned these a little better. So this just goes kind of what that looks like. So this plate holds this gear from going anywhere. So just make sure it moves freely as it does. We're just gonna center that. So it looks like that. So you want that middle thick one pointing directly back. Perfectly back. You can see that. Alright, so we're gonna do the other side. So now as you notice, these gears are pointing straight down, moving freely on this side, right there, this one down there. Now I bought a gasket kit, basically a full engine rebuilt gasket kit. We're not doing the bottom end, at least not right now. The bottom end is good, but it comes with like these I guess gaskets. Comes with these gaskets, and then it also came with gaskets for this gear inside, so it can kind of make a seal. So this is just gonna drop in the exhaust port. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to take this gear off. That's okay, you can take this side off. This side is tensioned, so I recommend whenever you do take this off on this side is tensioned, this side is not. So when you ever do decide to take this side off, just remember there's a tensioner gear, like gear in there, so be mindful of it. Don't let it pop out, lose it. I'm just gonna put this one in there. Sometimes you gotta loosen these plates up to get this to all fit right. We're just gonna loosen this one up a little bit. Because this plate also holds on the side of this right here. I'll show you when I got it in. Now, you can put this gear on, put this plate on, put all that on. This works as like a stopper. So this kind of determines how much you want this valve to open and close. So for now, we'll just kind of set it. So like you can set it there or there. So whenever you rotate, whenever the valve opens, it could either stop much higher or much lower. So on this bike, it was kind of basically dead middle. So that's what we're gonna run with. Put it back up. Alright, I still gotta put the back plate on here, but this is kind of what this looks like. So, you got your main, I guess, I don't know the exact term for this, I forgot by now, because I took this apart 4 months ago. The return time for this cylinder was 3 months. So, I forgot a lot of the names for a lot of this stuff, but I guess this flap, whatever this exhaust flap is, it goes in the middle. You get your washers in there or your gaskets. You put in this gear, put in the plate, then you want to put this in last. You want to have this side assembled when you put this whole unit in, this whole flap unit in. And essentially you're gonna have a bar that comes up from the bottom end that connects it here, and that's just gonna open and close that flap when it moves on that ball. So let's put the back plate on this. Now I already put oil on these gaskets. These gaskets are gonna go on these 4. So just put a little oil on them. Make a good seal. I don't get kinked up. just making these good and tight. Kind of doing a star pattern or an X pattern, I guess. It's only 4 bolts in each corner. 1 bolt in each corner, 4 bolts in total. Kind of dirty in there. And that should do it, but I'm gonna just do another once over. That is one assembled head. So you don't want to put the cap on it because on this side you need an arm to go through and you got to hook it up. And also when you bolt it down, you need these open so you can put the bolt, so you can bolt the head to the block. So that's pretty much it for the assembly part. So now what we're gonna do is put the piston the bearing and rings on and install that on the bike. Bring the cylinder over, put the cylinder in, and then kind of just keep on going. Whatever comes next, probably the top end cap. And once it's bolted down, we can put these side caps on. I cleaned these already, so everything won't leak. And we can start putting this beast back together. So I'm gonna get set up and we'll be back. Alright, so the piston's half on. You know, if you've never done one of these, sorry I didn't show you. I only have 2 hands. But essentially the piston comes with like a ring and it goes through the rod that comes up from the crank, or the crank rod, I guess. That ring you want to lube it up with 2-stroke oil, then just let it rest in that circle of the rod. So I like to put 1 pin on one side of the piston. So like that, I don't gotta go do 2 because these are kind of a pain to get in there. So I put 1 on one side so I can send the rod through. So this rod will go through the piston, through the bearing, the crank rod bearing, and touch the other ring on that side. So I'll have a perfect spot for this. So I'm gonna put that in now. All right, so the ring is in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in there. I sanded this down a little bit because trying to jam this thing in there, you know, you beat the screwdriver up against this edge and you don't want to make any lips. So I grinded it down a little bit, got it nice and flat, no more edges. But you want to take note that the arrow has to point towards the exhaust, and then your rings have to close here. See if it'll focus. There's little nipples in there. I don't know if you can see them. But your rings have to close on those nipples when you're installing the cylinder. So we're gonna install the cylinder now, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Alright, so we got the jug bolted in, bolted down. This guy has a little pin in it. It goes up through the back, then you turn it onto this swivel. So take your time with it. I used a pair of needle nose and just kind of grabbed it, shoved it in there, turned it, and then pushed it in with my finger. It's pretty easy. but the top end we're almost done. We just gotta put the seals up here, the cap, put the seal here, the cap, and the same on the other side. And then it's carburetor work. This is where the oil's leaking from, so I gotta re-tap that. And I can just screw it off. Just keep spinning. So I'm gonna put these caps on both sides and put this top end size because I want to test compression now that it's got rebuilt. So let me put these caps on and we'll be back. Alright, so we got the jug in, got the carburetor in place, got the majority of the engine stuff back together. I did take this rear frame piece off because I wanted to clean inside of the filter box as best as I could. Next time, I'm gonna end the video here, but next time I think we're gonna try and start it. We're gonna need a re-tap this fill bolt or fill level bolt right there on the bottom. Because it keeps leaking oil from there and it just won't make a good tight screw or fit. We're gonna do the rear hub bearings, and then we took the chain off to get a new chain for it. We're probably gonna do new sprockets front and rear. But yeah, next time we'll just probably do the chain, the rear hubs, maybe tap that filler level screw and start putting this bad boy back together and bring it back to the trail. But for now, make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Again, sorry I haven't posted in a while. It's just this baby has been had my schedule pretty full, so between that and work. So please make sure to like and subscribe. Later.